I am the daughter of two architects, so I was basically getting used to architecture and design and materials and shapes since I was very young. So there was not a moment when I was getting used to or getting to know design, because it always been around in my life. But at a certain point when I was in high school, I realized that art and architecture and design were also something that were really interesting to me. So that's why I decided to apply for a design university. So there I had to choose between different subjects, and maybe out of luck I decided to study graphic design because that was what really the most interesting to me. And I was lucky because when I chose, I was not really aware of what I was about to study, but in the end I was lucky and I chose right, so that's when I started being a graphic designer. I studied at Politecnico University in Milan for 5 years, so I did there my bachelor and my master degree. Then with some friends of mine that I met at the university, we opened a studio together in Milan, and we started being professionals. But after a few years, I realized that I wanted to go back to study and learn more about typography and type design. That by that time were the topics that were most interesting to me among all the topics in graphic design. So I was very lucky because I got admitted to a Type and Media Master in the Netherlands, where I studied type design for 1 year. So I paused my professional life for 1 year and went back to study. And that, I think, was really a changing moment in my education, because I, for the first time, got to know a more international environment, and also a way of teaching that was quite different from the usual academic way of teaching that I experienced at the university in Milan. In my professional life, I do mainly graphic design, so it's not very specific in many different fields. I do corporate design, so designing identities for companies or institutions, editorial design, web design, but also I'm doing a lot of wayfinding and signage systems, so projects that are very much integrated with architecture. To me, because of how I was educated, design has always been related to architecture and engineer, because in my university those three are the three faculties. So design is much integrated with architecture and engineer, so it's considered a very technical and practical discipline that is quite distant from art or being an artist. It's not that art is not influencing design, because I think also as inspiration or reference, I look a lot at art, at contemporary art, and architecture are very inspiring to me. But to me, design is a craft. It's not a way of expressing myself. It's more finding solutions to problems, or finding better solution, or creating something. I prefer sometimes to use the definition of information architecture than graphic design, because sometimes graphic design can be confused with something that is just aesthetic or artistic, while to me graphic design, it's more really structuring and giving shape to a content. And I think that is also something that is quite basic, because in our communication we use words, and it's very difficult to communicate without using words. So being able to use typography as a way of expressing, so knowing what are the tools and how to use them, it's something that is very basic, and it's very important that it's taught not just to designers but also to architects. To me, since computers allow everybody to create something using typography, should even be taught in schools, because everybody has the possibility to use and design a page, but not everybody knows how to, because they have not been educated to that. So it's something that to me is quite basic, like knowing and learning how perception works or how color theory works. It's one of the basic tools of design. I really enjoyed the experience of teaching this typography workshop to the young architects of the school, because it's the first time to me that I'm teaching to architects and not designers. So I had to adjust the way to teach typography to different knowledge and different approach. What was really interesting to me is that of course, there are concepts that are similar in architecture and also in typographic design. So the fact that you have to plan the use of space, that you use that are parts that have content and parts that are empty. So, and the fact that you really need to create a structure. So the information architect of the content. And I think it was interesting for the students to find out that they need tools to do that, and choosing typefaces, planning the page are things that they already do when they present their work, but they don't know really how to, because they don't know how to use the typographic variables. So I think it was really interesting for them to discover that what they usually do can be done with much more knowledge, but also being more aware of what they're doing. So taking care of the details and making decisions with more awareness. I'm a professor at the Politecnico University in Milan, and I teach the first semester of the second year typography. So it's one of the courses that are part of the basic package to designers. And it's quite interesting teaching to designers, because they know that what you're about to tell them, it's really important and they are eager to learn. But you have to teach them concepts like space and the planning that may be not easy to grasp, because those are not topics that they are used to. While teaching to architects, that those things are very easy to explain, because it's something that they already do. To me, being a designer is a combination of having theoretical knowledge and culture and very practical skills. And I think this is the key of being a good designer. You have to be able to think and design and come up with ideas, and that is something that you learn. You have to find and learn your way of doing that. But also it's important that you know the practical parts, so that you know what is possible to be done. And to me, also being a designer, part of being a designer is collaborating with other people. Most of the time you need to find other professionals to work with you to create a project. So it's important that you have a very open mind, and you're always willing to learn more and know more. What I really like about my work is that every time I have a new client that works in a specific field, I need to learn everything there is to know about that field. So if it's, I don't know, lamps, I need to know a lot of things about lamps to be able to design. Or fashion, I need to know about fashion and the fashion market. Or a museum, I need to know about the art that is inside. So it's a never-ending process, but what is important is that your mindset is correct and you have your own way of designing.